So in my case, I had 3 transplants. I had roughly 7,700 grafts via FUE done. So I was enrolled with 5A. Well, now I'm currently just a few months after my third one. But the question, so my donor is pretty good. It's still actually pretty good. But after this many FUEs, how about another FUT? What do you think about it?
Depends how your donor looks. If you say it looks good and you need that FUT, you could have it.
So that's another area that's sort of counterintuitive. So what we're doing, we're noticing an uptick of FUTs after FUEs. So the donor area, they're still there, but it's sort of on the verge of becoming too thin. But you can still do an FUT and then have another couple of hundred FUEs in the FUT scar. And if the laxity hasn't been touched by the FUE surgeries, you can get a couple of thousand via FUT out of it. And they're completely pleasantly surprised. They're saying, oh, I've had 2 FUEs or 3 FUEs. Can I get another, 800, 1,000 out? And I tell them the option, with FUT, with density and the length and the laxative, 2,500, maybe 3,000 we can take out. And
because a lot of
can't believe it.
A lot of people, they had a lot of big sessions, some even similar like mine, and they were unfortunately not very successful. So in this case, they have very minimal donor left. What's the best way to approach it? And one of those ways would be FUT, in my opinion. If because FUT is kind of spread around.
If they have sufficient density to cover the FUT scar. And a little bit of FUE reserves. Anybody still has a little bit of FUE that you can move around and plant in the scar. But if it's really tapped out, like if it's really see-through the donor area, then
As an example, my case, that was me just before my third transplant.
Yeah, you'd still have a bit of.
You could, because you don't have that fine. You have
thicker hair.
Thicker.
Yeah.
Actually, my hair is 50 microns.
Okay.
Oh.
But you started out with like a mutant density, right?
Yeah, pretty good density. Can't complain.
Okay. So you could still take out some FUE from there, but at some point you think about FUT.
No, it's just I'm just taking my case just to think as for people as a potential option, just to show look, if you are in similar situation, is it possible or not?
It is possible because it doesn't look see-through. Sometimes after many FUEs, people tend to have thinner hairs than they used to have.
Yeah.
And with an FUT, you would see the scar. So, but in this case that you showed us, if it's your head, then
this is my head, I swear. And that's with the longer hair.
Is this?
Sorry?
This is before the third surgery, before the last one.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can have both.
Yeah. But with even a nice FUT, if you still have laxity, you could. Out of this, you could easily get three and a bit.
3,000. Wow.
Just optically, if the laxity, I don't know how big your head is, but something like that, 25, 3.
Yeah, my head is not that big, but it's good to know because I thought as well. Look, even if you miss the boat on the FUTs, it's still possible. And in my case, for information, I wanted to start with FUTs as well, but in my case, I had budget, and I couldn't find, unfortunately, anyone who can do within my budget FUT, and that's why I went with FUE. Thank God my donor is great, so I'm kind of we're winning there. But there will be people who kind of in a similar way, and they, because of all the hype with FUE, they just went with FUE at first, but then rapid progression of hair loss if they were 21 or 22. So it's a possibility, I guess, to just get an FUT.
In my opinion, is an FUE and the development as FUE and FUE has been absolutely fantastic. I mean, just incredible. But still, if you want to get the max out of your donor area, neither pure FUE nor pure FUT, the combination of the both will give you the largest yield.